It may still be winter outdoors, but with very little effort you can grow sprouts out of your own kitchen, and today I'll show you how. Hi everybody, this is Laura with Lonely Pines. Today we're trying a fun experiment, growing sprouts. This is most commonly done with grain seeds, but can also be done with some beans and some nuts. Today we're using an alfalfa, broccoli, and radish blend. Right here that we got from Handy Pantry off Amazon. There's a link to their store below. It just seemed like a good 3-part salad starter mix. It's specifically designed for sprouting, so I know that's kind of something you want to look out for. But what's so great about sprouting? Well, seeds that have been sprouted are higher in fiber and protein. Also, once they sprout, there's a lot of good enzymes going on there and a lot of nutrients that are released. It breaks down those complex sugars and starches and can be easier for people to digest. I think that helps a lot with people that maybe have wheat allergies or folks that have a hard time processing certain kinds of beans. If you sprout them, then they're a little easier to digest. And just overall, it really helps increase the beneficial flora in your gut and helps stabilize your system. Me personally, that all sounds great, but we didn't plant a winter garden last year, so we don't have anything growing right now, and it is a bummer. So I mostly just want to give this a try because I want to have something growing in the house. So once these are sprouted, there's a few ways you can use them. We'll probably mostly be using them on salads and as little crunchy snacks, but you can also use them in soups and stews and in stir fry. Asian countries have been growing sprouts for a long, long time, so this is definitely nothing new, and we are anxious to try them in a stir fry as well. So the first step in the process here is to soak your grains or your beans or whatever you're using. The soaking times vary depending on what you're using, so be sure to look that up. There's lots of charts online that'll tell you. For our specific mix, it's 8 to 12 hours. So what I've got here is 2 cups of water in a mason jar. To that, we are going to be adding 1 tablespoon of our seed mix. And then we are going to let this soak for 8 to 12 hours. I'm going to do it overnight, so I will see you guys in the morning. Now that these have soaked overnight, it's time to drain and rinse. You'll want to use a big jar because the sprouts do expand. I typically use a quart jar. You'll also need a lid for draining. I found this plastic lid purchased online to be the best option. There's a link in the description below. You can also use cheesecloth and a rubber band, though I found that once the sprouts got larger, they tried to push that cheesecloth lid off. Next, we'll want to add some fresh water for rinsing. I typically do it through the lid on a slow trickle. This is something you'll want to make sure you do 2 to 3 times a day for the next 7 days. Another quick alternative is to take the lid off in its entirety and fill it that way. Always be sure to give it a good swirl. That is a little bit quicker. And then you want to store it in your kitchen out of direct sunlight, somewhere where you'll remember to rinse it, and be sure to store it upside down so that all of the extra moisture drains off. Here are the sprouts after a couple days. You can see that they're just starting to grow, but they're not quite ready yet. That was our final rinse. It's been 7 days, and as you can see, a few things have changed. The sprouts are ready to go. The next step is to refrigerate them. They should keep for a couple weeks, but it's very important to make sure that they are completely dry. So typically you'd leave it out for 8 to 12 hours after the final rinse to make sure that they're nice and dry, and then you can store them in the refrigerator. They don't have to breathe, so you can store them in an airtight container. Unless you think that there may still be some moisture in there, then in that case I would suggest maybe like putting them in something breathable until you're sure that they're really completely dry, and then storing them in an airtight container. So that's growing sprouts. It's really that simple. Rinse a couple times a day for 7 days, and you've got fresh veggies in your own kitchen. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you liked our video, be sure to like and subscribe below, and stay tuned for future videos.